Hey, what is up, everybody? We are on to the second video in this Warrior Fasting series. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about specifically OMAD, also known as one meal a day. This has become a quite popular, trendy subject in the fasting world and in the fasting circles. And a lot of people choose to do it every single day of the week. But I'm going to tell you how to do it properly and how you should get into it. And if you've never accomplished this before, it is highly rewardable. But there are some certain things you need to take into very, very serious consideration too, just like anything else. Now, first things first, if you have never done any fasting, a lot of people come up to me and they say, hey, Joe Smith at work has been doing OMAD, one meal a day, and I want to start doing it. He's lost a lot of weight. He seems to have high energy levels. He seems to be doing great. And it looks like something really doable for my lifestyle. I want to start doing it next week. And the first question I ask them back is, what kind of fasting have you done so far? Have you done any fasting? And usually they say, no, I've never done fasting before. And if you attempt to do OMAD, even one day a week, you're going to fall flat on your face. I can just tell you right now, I'm not even going to pull any punches. What you want to do is learn how to do time-restricted eating first. And these videos are going to be kind of done in stages anyway. And learn how to do time-restricted eating, then we're going to step to OMAD next. Here's how you should do it. Once you're able to do 16, 18 hours of fasting on a daily basis for many days in a row, many weeks in a row, and it becomes easy and comfortable for you, then just add one day a week where you do a longer fast. And don't go right to 24 hours. Go to like 18 hours if you're doing 16, and if you're doing 18, go to 20. Do that once a week, and then get used to it. Do it for a series of weeks. Then increase it to 22, then increase it to 23, then increase it to 24. And when you get to that point, if you want to keep doing more OMAD, then do 2 days a week, and then do three days a week. And see where I'm going with this? You want to progressively increase your fasting. It's just like when you're working out in the gym and you're learning kettlebells. You don't just start doing snatches and double kettlebell squats and thrusters and all these high intensity exercises. You learn the basics and you work your way up, and you start with a small volume and you keep going stronger and bigger and bigger. Well, fasting is the exact same way. Learn how to do time restricted eating first, then go into your OMAD and start with 1 day a week, and then slowly increase that 1 day. Get to a point where you're at a comfortable time frame of 23 to 24 hours, and then do multiple days a week, and then get to a point where if you want to do OMAD every day, that's great, but build yourself up to it and work your way up to it. And as far as the 24-hour thing is concerned, I want to address that too. I think everyone is married to the idea that they have to do 24 hours, and I'm not married to that idea at all. There are certain times where I get up in the morning on weekends with my girlfriend, and we go to the gym, we work out, then we go for a hike, and we do multiple things, and we end up doing maybe 22 to 23 hours of fasting because we just like the feel of being in a fasted state. So we'll do like a high intensity circuit workout at the gym, we'll do hot yoga afterward, then we'll go for a hike or a bike ride or something along those lines. And then finally we'll break our fast later in the afternoon. And when I check my timing, I'm about 22, 23 hours into a fast. I don't feel it's mandatory to do 24 hours. A lot of people do, and I think it's because what little studies have been done on OMAD and on fasting, there have been some mice studies. And these mice fasted for approximately 24 hours, and they kept checking these mice. And what ended up happening was the good flora, the good bacteria in their gut was repopulating. Basically what was happening is they were getting a massive stem cell dump in their gut, and it was improving gut health. So I think people got this and translated it to, you have to do 24 hours in order to get the benefits of OMAD, but you really don't. You just have to eat one meal in 1 day. And I would suggest going maybe at least 20 hours, but if you go like in the 20 to 24 hour window, you're totally fine. And I would always suggest moving your window back as opposed to saying, eating at 8 o'clock at night. Some people finish eating late at night, 8 o'clock, and like, I'm doing OMAD tomorrow because I overate tonight or ate too much. And then they end up going all the way to 8 o'clock the next night, and then they eat, and they're eating late at night. I would never do that. Always push the meal back if you can, and get it to more like 20 to 21 hours in your OMAD strategy. So remember, late night eating is the absolute devil. It is the worst thing you could possibly do, and I'd never suggest it. And don't listen to any of these musclehead, beefcake, bodybuilder idiots out there that eat up until 10 o'clock at night and wake up in the middle of the night and eat cottage cheese and all these other things. I don't advise it at all. I don't think it's good for you. It's not good for the body. It screws up your circadian rhythms. It screws up your human growth hormone, your insulin levels, all these other things. And I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just being honest with you here, okay? So the key is, don't eat late at night, even if you're doing OMAD. Now, what are the proposed benefits of OMAD? Well, obviously you're only eating one meal, so you're going to burn a good amount of fat in that 24-hour window. Once you get past 12 hours and like 14, even 16, your metabolism starts to really rev up, your fat burning starts to really rev up, you're going to burn a ton of calories, your brain function is going to start going through the roof, your hormones are going to be nice and level and optimized, And you could possibly start feeling the effects of autophagy scratching the surface at that point as well. So you're going to get a good amount of reduction in inflammation, and you're going to start really boosting your immune system, and you're going to get that stem cell dump I was talking about when you do break your fast finally, not just in your gut when you fast for a certain amount of time, but if you eat really clean in that meal, you're going to get a decent stem cell dump in your body as well. Anytime you hit autophagy, that's what happens. So those are all the benefits of OMAD. Now, as far as your meal construction is concerned, there's this dude on social media, I'm not going to mention his name, it doesn't need to be mentioned, but he eats one meal a day and he brags about it all the time, and he eats like 2 o'clock in the morning and makes these humongous meals, and he claims that they're healthy junk food meals. And it's like a pizza this big, a big huge pizza with meatballs and cheese and all these things. And he calls it the blank diet, I'm not going to mention it. And he's like, this is a healthy eating strategy. You don't understand. It's a healthy eating strategy. Buy my book, blah, blah, blah. He's trying to promote something. And he's got all these followers and all these people watch him. And he wears like a bow tie, and he acts like this idiot on screen. And he's got millions of followers. And he eats at 2 o'clock in the morning, a humongous meal. And it's always something like pizza and pasta and nachos and all these things. And he claims it's a healthy version of whatever he's eating. And I see some of the ingredients he puts in his posts, and it's not even close to healthy. It's not even close to smart. And I would never advise that either. And eventually he's going to run into problems. And he can get away with it now because he's a 30-something dude and make all of his followers happy. But I don't suggest eating garbage food in your one meal. Your mind is going to say to yourself, I'm only eating once so I can eat whatever I want in sight. And technically, you can get away with eating more than the average person can. And yes, you can have pizza and you can have spaghetti and all those different things, but I would still keep it regulated, and I would still keep it as healthy as you can. Because remember, the optimal goal here is to increase longevity, improve your overall health, improve joint function, build muscle mass, improve your brain function, improve your sex drive, all these different things. Once you eat like those huge amounts of really unhealthy food, you're sabotaging all of that. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 meal a day, or it doesn't matter if it's 6 meals a day. The end effect is still going to be kind of the same. You'll probably stay in caloric balance because you're only eating once, and you won't gain as much fat if you're doing OMAD and you eat the junk food. However, always opt for healthy, clean options every chance you get. Try to eat balanced meals that are made with whole foods, things you can pronounce, the least amount of ingredients as possible, and things that are just healthy and as close to Mother Nature as you can get them. Local, organic food is going to be your best option always, but just think in terms of balance. Have a nice big old salad with a clean organic chicken breast locally from a local farm. Have some berries in there, some nuts and seeds and beans. Load that sucker up. Have a baked potato with it, sweet potato or baked potato, I don't care. A lot of people say baked potatoes are bad, white potatoes are bad. That's a bunch of judgmental fear-mongering in my opinion. If you're scared about your potatoes, make them the day before and eat them cold. Because if you eat them cold, it's going to have a lower effect on your blood sugar levels, and it's going to have a higher amount of resistant starch, and it's going to help the fiber content go through the roof too. So anyway, some kind of potato on the side, and then have a nice little dessert. Have a bowl of pudding, have a bowl of organic ice cream. I don't really care. Something along those lines. Make sure the meal is sizable, at least 1,000 to 1,500 calories, maybe even get to 2,000 calories. Your body can totally handle it. So don't stress too much about the size of the meal. Just make sure it's a balance of protein, carbs, and fat. Have a good amount of food. Make sure you're satiated, and make sure the food is clean. That's really the major thing. Always go clean. As far as your workouts are concerned, I would suggest working out in the first thing in the morning on a fasted state, just like I mentioned with time-restricted eating, or the closest that you can get to that. Now, since you're doing 1 meal a day, you can literally work out any time of the day you want before your meal, and you're going to be in totally great shape. And the longer you wait, the more your potential to get into fat burning mode is going to go up, also known as fat adaptation. And over time, when you work out in a fasted state, I think I mentioned this in the last video, I'll mention it again and I'll keep mentioning it. When you continue to work out in a fasted state, especially if you're like 12 to 14 hours fasted, your body does become fat adapted, and you start burning fat more efficiently throughout the day for energy. And that, my friends, is the golden ticket. And that's where you really want to get to when you're doing fasting and you're doing fitness in conjunction with it. First thing in the morning would be my optimal suggestion, and then anytime during the day would be great for your workouts. And as far as the construction of your workouts go, doesn't matter if it's a beefcake, if it's a long distance cardio, if it's a CrossFit class, if that tickles your fancy, or if it's like a circuit class or high intensity interval training, whatever you choose, you're going to be totally fine in that 24-hour span of time. I don't think you have to change anything as far as, dumbing down your workout or scaling it back at all, or your intensity or any of those variables. Now, I've done, time restricted eating for many years. I've done 4-day fast, 5-day fast, 2-day, 3-day, everything. And I work out right through all of it. And it does start to change once you get past the OMAD day. And we'll get into that in the next video. But for OMAD, I would say you can do anything you really want to in your workouts. Just always go in the fasted state. Try to go first thing in the morning or any time in the day. And then once you finish working out, eat your meal, and then you're good to go. Now, having said that, when you finish that last meal, try to get at least 3 hours of separation after that meal before you go to sleep. So that's another reason why you don't want to eat at 8 o'clock at night, because you may not go to bed at 11. You may eat and go right to bed, and a lot of people do that. And that is another very bad thing to do. So try to make that gap a good 3 hours, and it takes about 3 to 5 hours for peristalsis to occur, which is the first leg of digestion, where your body starts breaking down all the food that you ate. And then it goes into micro breakdowns after that. But just know that 3 to 5 hours is the golden window. If you can get 5 hours of separation, that's going to be even better. But I always go with 3 hours. Some of the experts say 2, but I always go 3 minimum and keep that in mind. There you have it. There is the long and short answer when it comes to utilizing OMAD and what it's about. 1 meal a day, OMAD. When used correctly and properly, it can be a valuable tool in your fasting strategy. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.